Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Darian. It's about almost 2 weeks after surgery now, and I am doing well, not in very much pain at all. Sometimes a little discomfort, but not pain. Um, Sorry I haven't been updating. It was my desire to do it every day, but it's just not something that I could accomplish. Um, I want to say a week, and it wasn't a week. It was about 4 days after surgery that I came home from the hospital. I noticed that I could not urinate and that I could not have a bowel movement. Um, and I thought, I don't know, just maybe I need to rest. And so I did take my pain medication and I went back to bed. Um, the next day, I got up again, went to the bathroom, just kind of sat there. Nothing happened. No urination, no bowel movement. I ate some chicken and one chicken leg I ate and took my medicine and laid back down. When I woke up with the urge to vomit. So I got up, ran to the bathroom, and I did vomit. I vomited up liquid. Tasted very medicine-y. And so I then got dressed and had my wife to take me back to the hospital. We got there. My wife and I and my mother in law got to the hospital, and they immediately took me to the back, took some blood, as well as put in a catheter, and they um, were able to pull 700 cc's of urine off my bladder. I then learned in the ER that I would not be going home, that they were going to admit me in the hospital. So this was the second admission. Um, the first admission, I went in to have the surgery, got out. Second admission, because I could not urinate or have a bowel movement. Um, they put a tube up my nose, and the tube goes down the back of your throat, and you have to swallow the tube down your throat so that they can hook that to a machine to pull everything from my stomach, because at that point my stomach was not working. It was just in a paralyzed state. Um, then, with my stomach being in a paralyzed state, it meant that I was not, um, the food was just basically sitting there. My stomach was paralyzed along with my bladder, along with my prostate. I learned that this came from narcotic medication. The narcotic medication put my stomach, bladder, and prostate to sleep. Um, and so, because of that, food is not moving, urine is not moving. So, as I stated, they put the catheter in, 700 units or 700 cc's of urine was pulled off my bladder. I felt somewhat better at that point. And then the tube that was inserted through my nose, and I had to swallow it down my throat. They then hooked that to a machine that pulled stomach acids, food, particles, whatever. It pulled it out of my stomach. Um, I went through that I had the tube in for a little over 24 hours. That night was one of the most horrible nights that I had during this process. Um, in the ER, they were giving me Dilaudid, and they were giving me Valium, but it was watered down. They were giving me just enough medicine to keep me comfortable so that I was not in pain. As you know, the ER beds are not comfortable, and being that I have stitches and staples, it was not a comfortable situation. And so um, they were keeping me comfortable there. When I was um transformed. No, not transformed. When I was in transit upstairs to the upstairs room that I would then spend a few days in, um, I got there at around 11 o'clock at night. Um, a little after 11, my wife and mother-in-law left to go home and get rest, and I was okay with that. I felt like they were going to take care of me at the hospital. Well, around 11:45, my surgical site as well as my stomach now is starting to wake up because they were giving me medication, kind of like pitocin, to wake up, the stomach. And so my stomach is feeling like there's an earthquake going on in my stomach. Then I have my incision that's sore and hurting from being on this uncomfortable bed. And I asked the nurse to give me some pain meds. And the nurse looked at me and said that the doctor left orders saying that there was absolutely no way that I could have any medication. So I then began to pray and just talk to God because, the pain was getting worse, worse, and worse. So this went on from around 11:45 that night until around 3 a.m. the next morning. And I started to yell and moan and, really make noise on the floor, and people began to complain. So the charge nurse ended up coming in my room, and when I explained to her what was going on, she told my nurse, that she needed to call my doctor and immediately, right now, call him. My doctor then gave orders for me to have Valium as well as Dilaudid, and to give it to me straight with no chaser. Do not cut the medicine, give it directly to him. And all I know is that I woke up the next morning in a fetal position, with my head in the crease of the bed, very, very sore from all of the pain and hurting. But I must say that that experience was it was the worst experience I've had this whole surgery. I do not regret having the surgery. I do not regret going through it. If I had to do it all over again today, I'd do it again. My doctor, as far as I'm concerned, is a brilliant man and is the best back surgeon you could ever have. The team of people that worked with him just really are a blessing to my life. Um, and so once we got my stomach took back working and got my prostate and everything working again, I have been fine. I am back at home. The day that I got out of the hospital, unbeknownst to my doctor, I drove myself to church. As I'm a pastor, my wife was in the middle of her women's conference. I drove myself to church. I sat in service. It was absolutely wonderful. I drove myself home. Um, I didn't go to church the next night, but I did go to church on this past Sunday. And we had an awesome time in service. I feel absolutely wonderful. I feel 16 again. Like, you know, you don't understand how your life has been, I guess you can say, taken from you by an injury. But I'm telling you, I'd do it right now if I had to. Um, and so, I just wanted to share that. I know this video is going on a little long, but I wanted to share that with you because, I want everybody to know the different channels that I went through in order to reach this place that I'm in now, of like, wow, I got my life back. Like, are you serious right now? I can actually sit up and talk to my children and not be in pain. Or, this is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So, I just wanted to give you that update. More updates will come. I can't give it to you all at one time, but more updates will come. And to those of you that's following this blog, again, thank you. Those of you that have been praying for me, thank you. We love you. And if you have any questions, definitely leave your questions. I will answer them. Blessings. Have a wonderful evening.